video is, well, it's about stop motion, but not necessarily of just showing one off, but of how to make a stop motion. So, let's get into it. Without you. Okay, so this video is going to be about how to make a stop motion, and it's going to be mainly for beginners. Making a stop motion is very simple. So to start off, I'm going to talk about basics and things you will need. So for me, since I'm making a Lego stop motion, I have, of course, the people I want to use. So I've picked two people for this video. You will need, if you want to do it exactly like this, you will also need a phone of just any kind that can download an app that I will show you in a minute. And then you will also need some sort of sticky tack or plastic tack. Now, you don't need this. This is optional. But it just helps make it run smoother so you can animate stuff more quickly. Also optional, you can have a Lego base plate, which very highly recommended if you're doing it with Legos. And I mean, obviously, of course, you'll need your figures. Now, you can actually see in the bottom of these where there is still plastic tack in it. But that's because I did not clean it out, and the first time I used the plastic tack, it was very strong. So, beware of that. So, yeah. Also, I have tape. I don't know if I already said this. But, yeah. So, let's get into procedures. So, the first thing we need to do is talk over how you should set up a stop motion. So, to start off, if you're using a base plate, you want to make sure your base plate is securely tightened down, which is what the tape is for. So, if you give me a second, I'm just going to get a piece of tape off this roll, if I can. Alright. So you don't need a super big piece of tape, you just need a piece of tape that suits the size that you need. So I got a piece of tape right here. And so now what I'm going to do is move the roll to the side, and then I'm going to tape it down just by simply putting it half on the table and half on the Lego. So what this does is it helps prevent it moving like a lot. Now obviously it still moves, which is where you can use a tiny bit more tape, and if I can, so you get a tiny bit more tape, and you can put it like here on the side to hold it down as well, and you could also do likewise on this side. But yeah, so that's pretty much all you need to do to set that up. The next thing you need to do is with your plastic tack. You need to, if you're using it, I'll also show you with and without, so I guess I'll start with the without for now. But, so, I'm going to show you what you need on your phone. So, here I have my iPhone. I will go over to the App Store. Okay. I'm going to search. Now, the app I use is called Stop Motion. So if you just search Stop Motion, it is the first thing that comes up. It is called Stop Motion Studio. Now, I actually have the Stop Motion Studio Pro, but this costs $5. So if you're just going for a free app, the Stop Motion Studio is the exact same as this Pro, but minus a couple of the features. But so you would just install this, and it gives you a nice little preview of how, like, videos that are made on it. But I'm going to go ahead and open up my app. And so as soon as you open it up, you'll get a screen that looks like this. Now for you guys, it'll just be blank, and there might be one called Big Fish, which is just kind of an example, so you can play around with it. Now I've obviously recorded stop motions before, but if you're starting a new movie, you're going to hit New Movie. Now this opens up your camera. Now, if I can get this to focus, it has a lot of features. So obviously it's a camera. Down here, this is how fast your video goes in terms of frames per second. So for now, I'm going to set it to 10 and hit the check mark so it confirms. Then, if I want to say, if I had an image already or just anything, I could use any of these buttons. Now, I don't know which ones are there on the Pro version of the app, but that is unimportant. So to start recording or taking pictures, you need to hit the camera icon. So once you hit that icon, your screen will change and look something like this. Now, this bar on the left shows you the current state, and if you've taken a picture already, so quick demonstration, I took a picture there. Now say if I moved him a tiny bit, I could use the scroll bar, and it shows me the previous state of the image. So if I wanted to, like if something fell over, you could use this to line it back up. And do that. So I will delete this real fast. Another thing that I forgot to mention, I'm going to set that down real fast, is this is very helpful for me. It is a little phone, it's a little rubber phone stopper. And so how this works is you just take off your case, if you have one, or depending on your type of case, you should be able to just apply it right on there. Throw my case over there. So now I've taken my case off, and this just kind of, so here's my phone right here, this just kind of boop, pops on, and it helps me stand up my phone. Now you'll notice that this is on ground level, so if you wanted to do a stop motion from the ground view up, so you're just kind of, if you were just kind of doing the feet, this is what it would look like. This is all you would see depending on depth. But I recommend flipping your phone over and putting the pig roughly in the same spot, because now your camera is higher up and you can record or take your pictures like this. Now, I will pop it right here. I'm sorry, let me move this back in frame. Yeah, it's gonna look a bit weird right now, but because it's screenception. But so to start off, I'm going to just do a simple walking animation with this figure right here. So to start off, I will place my figure however I want him to start. So I will just place him right here on the pegs, and I'll pose him to how I want. And so now that I've got that, I will hit the picture button, and it takes a picture. Now, since I just moved my camera unintentionally, I can put it at half opacity and try and figure out how it was lined up, which should not be too hard. Maybe. It's kind of weird doing a stop motion with one hand. I've never done something like this. But, and I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect. So, I will take another photo right here. And I'm going to take 5 photos of this scene. Okay? So I took 5 photos. Now I'm going to start moving him. So now that I've taken word of the day, tooken. I'm now going to start moving this guy. So yeah. Ooh, I just dropped him. So this is going to roughly go back down here. And so I want to move let's say I want to move his left foot first. I will make sure the right one is planted. I'll kind of swing his body forward a tiny bit. Alright, and then I will try not to move your phone too much when doing this. Then I will take my 5 photos. Okay. And then, so this is a simple walk. I'm not doing anything super fancy. Now, I will stamp that foot down and kind of equalize where he was. And then I will lift up his foot here, if you can, so you can see it mainly on the left side here. I'll take my photos. Move it back a bit. Now, you don't have to take 5 photos. The reason I'm taking multiple of each frame is to help it flow better when you start messing around with stuff. So now that I've done that, I will place down his foot and let him continue walking forward a tiny bit. Alright. So this is all making a stop motion is using pictures to walk a character or thing forward, not necessarily walking. It could be flying, it could be doing any action you want. But in my case, and in the case of this video, is walking. Ooh, see, I moved it a lot there. So I'm actually going to take some more. And so you're just going to kind of repeat this process until you get, like, we'll say, I'll stop at 50 images. So, now, if you look, so now would be a good time to show you on this. So if you move back, you see in the bottom right of my phone screen right here, there is a number out of a number, and that shows how many frames you have. So I've got 31 out of 31. Now, that means I took 6 pictures of one of the frames, which I did intentionally, which is completely fine. That is a very helpful tip. Now, underneath the camera button, there is a play button, which will play through all of the images you've taken so far. And then some of the other things are just like simple, you might want to know things, but they're not super important. So see, I don't remember, I think I'm good, so I'm going to take 5 more, and then I'm going to move him forward, place his foot, lift up his other one, take 5 more. Okay, and so this is the boring process. It's just taking everything and constantly moving it. All right, I'm almost there. So this will be his last step before he stops and rests. All right. Alright, and now that he has stopped and rest, or has stopped to rest, he will just kind of stand back up. Okay, and then you can kind of have him turn and face the camera a bit. So I will have him kind of turn his body towards the camera Okay, so now I'm going to go back. And so I know that somewhere I took a photo that I did not want. So I am going to scroll through. And as you scroll through, it'll show you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And sometimes it doesn't even matter. So I'm going to leave it at 61 frames. Okay. So now I can come back to the beginning. And if I want to see my video, I will move this here and I will focus it. I will just simply hit play. And it'll play through the video and the frames that I have selected. Now you'll notice it looks kind of choppy. Now that is because I have it in 10 frames per second. So it's only showing you two images per 10, or 2 images every 10 seconds. Or not 10 seconds. It is showing you 10 frames, so 2 images, in a shorter amount of time. So I'm going to raise it to 15, which will increase the speed of the video. So now, if I hit play, you'll notice it moves a lot faster. And he just kind of waddles on. And so you continue to move this little dial until you find the sweet spot, which for me is going to be kind of rough since the way I did it, I didn't take too many pictures in between. And it's going to be a weird number, so I'm going to do 24 frames per second, which will be also a bit choppy. Now this is a simple walk, and it is a lot easier to do, so I will now back out of here. Nope, I don't want to hit that, and I will start another movie. And I will move my camera back into position. And so now I'm going to use the Plastattack. Now, I'm sorry for the length of this video. I did not intend on this taking as long as it is, but while I'm making this, I'm realizing, holy crap, it's hard to explain how to make a stop motion. Kind of. It's pretty simple, but I'm kind of just going over and showing you how. So now I'm going to swap figures and I'm going to use this guy. And so here's my blob of Plastattack. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break up this Plastattack. So I just pulled off a piece. Now it does not need to be a very big piece. It just needs to be big enough to fit into his foot. So these guys have the foot sockets, and so I'm going to put that piece right there on his foot. And you'll notice it kind of looks a bit weird, but that is because it adds extra mass to it, and it will also add extra size to the foot. So there's one. Now, if you don't like the way the feet look when doing this, don't do it. But it honestly helps in the final product because it helps you stabilize them better. So I'm going to put a tiny bit more on his feet, kind of smooth it out. And so now his feet have these little white turds on them. And they don't have to be the exact same size. So now I will place him down on my camera. Okay, and so you'll notice that now I can just place him wherever I want and he will stay. And I didn't even press him down. I just kind of plopped him down. And so if you press him down, it'll do that. So I will reshape his feet. Now every once in a while you will want to reshape his feet because they will get morphed and become indented and won't work that great. But that doesn't take much time at all. So now I will put him down here. have him start in his starting position. I will go to my camera, and this time I'll take 4 of each frame. Alright, so I took 4. Now I'm going to move his leg forward a tiny bit. So this is a more advanced walk because I am using Plastic, which makes it easier for me to animate his walking movement. Now, since he's not very strong on one foot, it will kind of fall over. That is fine. So now I will take 4 pictures. Alright. And then I will lean him forward a tiny bit. Okay. And then I will lift up his back leg and kind of have him start bringing it forward. Now this is the part where it starts getting weird. So I will take my 4 photos. Okay. And then his leg will plant forward a tiny bit. And then you just keep taking those photos of him walking. And keep planting them down as you go. And so you just kind of keep moving him forward just a tiny bit at a time, not too much, or else it'll look super choppy. And sometimes if you want it to be a bit longer, you can do extra stuff while he's walking. And then, so now I will bring him forward to rest. Alright, and so he was like that. And then he will bend up forward. Now this is 53 photos, so I don't know how this will look. But if I look here, it is still on, if you look down here, it is still on the 24 from the previous video. So now I'm going to move it back down. I'll put it at 15 for now. That's a good place to start. And so I'll run it. And so now he is walking a lot better. Now it is a tiny bit too slow, so I'm going to put it on 18. And so that will go like this. And so now he is kind of just walking. And so as you're seeing this process, it doesn't take long to make a simple walk. Now, it does take a lot of photos, which is nice. So I take 53 photos for a walk that short. I moved him from point A, like about here, to point B, to right where he is here. So from boom, boom was 52 photos. Now we'll watch it again. And if you want to add extra pizzazz, this is something you can only do with the Stop Motion Pro. So as soon as he starts to walk, so that first frame, if I wanted to come in, I could add audio, these are just audios that are on the app. So I will put, let's see, do I want to put audio? You don't have to put audio. It just might be a little bit fun. Dark Star, Evil March. Alright, we'll do this one. So, it'll go. So now, see, it's not perfectly tuned to the video, but that is basics of stop motion filming. I sure hope that the length of this video does not bother you, and I also hope that you were able to learn something from this. So now I'm actually cleaning the feet off camera. And so what I'm doing is I'm taking the bigger blob and I'm just kind of peeling it out of his feet so it doesn't get stuck. And if it does get stuck, I just take a toothpick to it later and get it unstuck. But thank you for watching this video. I will be doing more guides. Hopefully that won't be as long as this one, but stay tuned if you want to see those. I will be uploading a bit more gaming videos, and I will be doing another set review pretty soon. But thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.